How long have you had the dog?
Since the 15th
Of what?
of August.
So
But then
why
she
do you
was-
still have the dog?
Because she was threatening me, and I had already
Because you
signed-
had her dog.
It wasn't her dog yet because she never paid for it.
Wait, but for a year and a half, you had zero problem with that. And then you decide, what the heck, I'll just keep the dog.
This is the plaintiff, Princess. She says she sold a puppy to the defendant, her friend's sister, and the woman is stiffing her. So she went to the defendant's house and took the dog back from her because she didn't pay for it. And the woman posted flyers all over the neighborhood claiming she stole the dog. How could she steal something that's rightfully hers? Bottom line, she's suing the scamming defendant for the balance owed on the dog and for defamation to the tune of $5,000. This is the defendant, Trey. She says the plaintiff stole her dog. She called the cops and they're trying to find out where the dog is because the sneaky plaintiff keeps moving her around. She's known the plaintiff her whole life and can't believe she's in court with her today. And if anyone here has owed money, it's not the plaintiff. She's accused of not paying for a dog. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $300, the amount of the dog.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
Have a seat, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Princess, you've asked to be referred to only as Princess. You are suing, how to pronounce your name?
Trey.
Trey?
Yes.
You've asked to be referred to only as Trey. For $5,000, $150 of it that you say she still owes you for a dog that she bought from you, and $4,850 in defamation of character. Okay, you are counterclaiming against her $300 that you say you paid for the dog. Tell me what's going on.
Yes, about a year ago, my dog had puppies, had two.
What kind of dog?
Maltese. And I'm friends with her sister. So she told me, she might be interested in purchasing a dog. So I called her up and she was like, sure. She came over, she saw the puppy. The agreement was that she'll pay me $100 a month for 3 months. So I gave her a payment plan. The first month, she gave me $100. And I even let the puppy go home a week.
Did you have anything in writing with her?
No, just verbal contract.
So go on.
And she paid the first payment. The second month, she called me. She was coming in a cab. I went downstairs. She only gave me $50. She said, I'm sorry, but next month, I'll give you the $150 in full. And I'm like, okay. And that was the last I heard of her.
This was how long ago?
This is 2015, because she's 2.
What did you ever do? You never heard from her again?
I never heard from her.
Did you go to her and call her and tell her you still owe me $150? Where's my money? Anything?
Yes, and a couple months ago, I texted her like.
Why a couple months ago? How come?
Because I had lost my phone.
Okay.
Okay, so then I
What
found.
does that mean?
I didn't have her number.
But she's a friend of your sister's, so your sister has
Yes,
her number.
her sister. She said she didn't have her number as well.
Her sister didn't.
Her sister didn't have.
You're a friend of her sister.
Yes.
And she didn't have.
Her sister didn't have
her own sister's number.
Yes.
And then how did you come to have communication with her again?
This summer, I worked for the board election. I worked a class over in her neighborhood.
You worked a what?
I taught a class.
Okay.
For the board election. So I was a block away. So I was like, let me walk over there and see if I remember what apartment, because I didn't remember the apartment. I was only there one time. So I went upstairs. There was a young man in the hall. He was like, yes, that's the apartment. I knocked, and it was. Stepped inside. Was, how you doing? I wanted to take pictures with the puppy and her mother and.
Wait, whose mother?
The puppy's mother that I have. I have the mother.
Okay.
Okay? My friend has the grandmother and the sister.
Okay.
So I wanted to do a little family portrait of all of them.
Okay.
So that's the reason I went and got the dog.
Except for that, you never gave the dog back.
No, I didn't.
How long have you had the dog?
Since the 15th
Of what?
of August.
So
But then
why
she
do you
was-
still have the dog?
Because she was threatening me, and I had already.
Because you
signed-
had her dog.
It wasn't her dog yet because she never paid for it.
Wait, but for a year and a half, you had zero problem with that. And then you decide, what the heck, I'll just keep the dog.
No.
Yes, it is what you did. You kept the dog. Now, you owe her money for a dog for 2 years?
$50.
Prove it. You have receipts for the rest of the money?
No, I have all her text messages.
That say what?
Her saying, oh,
You still owe
when
me
she-
$50?
When she came to my house, that's the second time she been in my house. She brought the dog to me. She didn't want the dog. She didn't even know the dog, the brother and the sister, she left the dogs in the house. She go away, leave the dogs by themselves. They got in her closet, made the puppies. She came back. She called my sister them screaming and crying, oh my God, I don't know what's going on. She said, they puppies, they had sex. Excuse me, like that. Then she said, you gotta take them.
Very Game of Thrones.
You gotta take them to the vet. So you gotta take them to the vet. She's all nervous and stuff. My sister goes, well,
So
everywhere.
the brother and the sister dog. Okay, go ahead.
Which is the mother, the brother and the sister, which end up being the mother and the father of
Your
the
dog.
dog that I have.
Right.
The reason she comes now, 2 years later, is because the father dies. And she had to put him to sleep 2 weeks prior to her taking my dog.
Okay, so she comes to your house. You haven't seen her in a year and a half. You know you owe her money.
I said, as soon as she came to my house, I said, girl, I got you. She said,
Well,
oh,
what does that
girl.
got you mean? You haven't paid in 2 years. Like, no one
The
can deposit, I
$50,
got you.
The $50, she's not gonna let me go no $150 for 2 years.
But she'd let you go 50.
Yeah. We have a mutual friend. She wanted to go to Jamaica on him. She kept saying, oh, you seen Winston? You seen Winston? I'm not gonna say his last name. You seen Winston? I said, yeah. I said, he hangs out mutual where everybody else goes. Oh, do me a favor. Can you get his number? Because he always goes to Jamaica around this time. I'm gonna get him to pay for my ticket, and he got friends down there I could stay with on him.
So did you give her the Jamaican guy's number? And
I seen him, he told me no.
okay.
She did something. He told me no. She did something, and I'm not gonna put her business out.
You're dying to put her business out there.
Yes,
but
I am.
What? So
She did something.
Are you trying to say I don't understand why you're telling me all these details? Is it because then you two stopped talking?
Yeah, she stopped talking to me after I didn't give her the number.
Do you have receipts for? You said no. It's all here in the phones. Do you have any proof that the amount is 50 and not 150?
I'm saying in the text and the police report, she agreed that that's what it was.
Okay. Let me see the police report and let me see the text where she refers to it as 50. Did you ever talk to the police about this?
No.
The police haven't been to see you?
I haven't been there. I haven't. The last thing.
Have they been
that I
calling
see-
you and you haven't gone?
No. I found this on my
Wait,
door.
we're going to talk about that in a second.
Okay.
Have the police contacted you?
No, I have not spoken to
He
anyone.
been in her house. She told him that the
Is there
police
a
was
warrant
harassing
out for her arrest?
Yeah, when
What
they
is
still want her.
this?
That's what he made. Detective. That's the poster he made. It tells all the business, her, when she stole my dog, everything.
It doesn't look like a poster that the police would make.
He got it off her Facebook page. I don't have her Facebook page.
And
He misspelled petty in the word petty larceny.
No, I didn't make that up. He made that up.
Who's she?
No, he made that up. The lady detective, I seen her yesterday. That's who gave me the
Who
paperwork.
made this up? You've said he
Detective
and
Marshall,
she
he's right
in
down
two
there.
different.
No, the detective
Parts
I
of-
seen yesterday, she gave me the paperwork. That's why I said she first. And the police
Now,
report
you
is
think
behind
she
it.
made it up and spread it all over the neighborhood?
yes, and because it says, that I stole the puppy from in front of my building approximately at 1:30. At 1:30, on the 15th, I was teaching a class over Mapes Avenue. And
She got out her car and ran.
Well,
with
this
the
is
dog.
easy enough to find out. If I get off this bench and I will do that. I'm very concerned, though. We have a dog who's been with her for 2 years, year and a half, and you up and take the dog? How is that not ridiculous? If she owes you money, go sue for it. Why would you take the dog out of its home?
because she was still my dog.
It's so great. So let's say that it's $150 that she owes you, and she pays you the $150. You give him back the dog?
No, because I sold her already.
Wow. She said she,
For all the harassment
Who'd you sell the dog to?
to a lady,
What's the lady's name?
Kayla.
What's the lady's last name?
I don't know her last name.
What's her phone number?
I don't have her number.
You're a liar.
I don't.
You are a liar.
No, I'm not.
You are a liar. My only
Well,
question
whatchamacallit,
is, are you
I can
also
go
a liar? Court is in recess.
All rise. Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, if the defendant doesn't pay, can the plaintiff come and just take the dog back?
No, he can't.
Why?
Just trespassing, things like that. But Western law, you probably should.
Western law. Okay. What do you say?
Same as him.
Really? Anybody think you can take the?
I think he can take the dog.
Why do you say?
Because she didn't pay for it, and it was a transaction, and if she didn't fulfill her end of the deal, why does she get to keep it?
If I sold you a piano and you put it in your living room and you didn't pay, could I go into your living room and take the piano back?
Yes.
Wow. What's your address? Going inside the courtroom.
This is real. It's real.
It is?
Yeah, I'm floored, honestly. Not just because petty is misspelled, but also just the language on it, I was so sure that my apologies. I am stunned. However, apparently this is something, I think it's kind of ill-advised. I don't know, but this is what they're trying to do when I guess they're at their wit's end and you don't call them back. Maybe that's when they do it, because if you had called them back, they wouldn't do this. So they're trying to figure out how to not have to chase you down. I'm telling you that there is an open warrant for your arrest for the theft. And I suggest with every fiber of my being that you attempt to make this right and call this detective. Yes, ma'am, what did you want to interrupt me and say?
I told him, you don't have to arrest her if she give me back my dog. On a text.
Show me the proof on how much money is owed. You said that you had a text that would show how much money is owed. Yeah, this says exactly the opposite. It says what she says, which is you owe $150.
No, I said I only owe you $50. That's on the top of it. And I said, why are you lying like that? You said that the dog was mine. She said, I don't want your dog. It is your dog. If you keep looking down, that's how me and her going back and forth. She never wrote nothing down.
Okay, can you stop talking, because I still don't say. I'm going to hand you the phone back. I want you to find what you're saying where she acknowledges that it's only $50.
No, we're just going back and forth
Yeah, exactly.
arguing.
And that's after the dog theft. Well, you know what? That's why you need to have receipts when you pay cash. So if all that she admits to you paying her is $150, and she says that you still owe another $150, and everybody knows that the purchase price of the dog was $300, you clearly still owe $150 unless you can
No, I
prove.
don't.
No, I'm telling you do. If your
She's not
defense
proving
is
it
all I
either.
owe is $50, that's when you pull out the receipts. You don't
There was
have
never
them.
no
We are
receipts.
done with that. The next question is way more important than this, which is you are suing for $300 on your counterclaim, the value of the dog. I think that I understand that what you really want is the dog.
That's what I said.
Right. You want the dog. You don't want a money judgment.
Nothing.
Right.
My dog.
Okay. Now, here is what I'm going to do. I really am floored, because you thought, like I did, that she was just defaming you all over and putting your business out there and everything else, which if she had made this up, it would most certainly be defamation. Not because she's saying, hey, she stole my dog, but because she's saying that, because she would be lying about whether there was a warrant out in the police or after you and everything else. That would be the defamation. It's legit. So you better find Kayla. That's what I think needs to happen. You better find that Kayla, that mysterious Kayla you don't know how to reach. You best find out how to reach Kayla. Of course, the dog is in the apartment. I'm not an idiot.
No,
so
no, no, I was
because
about to
we
say
got,
Ka-
put your hand
I was
down.
about to
We've
say
got
Kayla's
a
15.
problem. You have, no, we don't have a problem. I'm done when you leave here. But you have a problem, you see? So you best find Kayla, because I am going to enter an order as follows. On your lawsuit against her, I am ordering her to pay you $150. On her lawsuit against you, I am giving her an order, finding her to be the rightful owner of that dog, and ordering you to return the dog. That is my judgment. Take it to the police, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Like, swiftly.
Yeah, I am. As soon as I
Swiftly.
get back.
Yeah.
Well, in an interesting twist, both parties have won their respective lawsuits here. You won for $150, not the amount you were originally seeking, but she does owe you the $150. Yes. you got a serious problem because there's an arrest warrant out for you. And on top of that, she won, and you got to give her the dog back. But you don't have the dog, you said. You sold it, right?
Yes.
Do you know where it is?
Well,
You know
mutual
the
friends.
name, but you don't know the
Yes.
phone number or anything?
No.
Do you think you can find her?
I'm gonna get the dog.
No problem.
No problem.
You're sure?
Yes.
You know you can find the dog?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Well, you got to give it back, all right? Congratulations, good luck. Hope you don't end up in jail. Here comes the defendant now. You know, if I were you, I would have been so angry that she took the dog. Wow.
I did, but I
know.
couldn't chase her.
All right.
She ran.
Okay.
But,
Well, you got to give her the 150, you okay? You
I
understand
don't
that?
have no problem with that. Give me my baby.
But you got to give her your baby back.
There you go.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I've been watching here, wondering it's
My
life
nails,
tough to live with nails like that.
No.
They're like weapons.
I know.
You know, you
Should've
help
used 'em,
somebody, you
right?
could hurt them.
I was trying to.
I'm
No,
sure.
let me stop.
All right. Well,
But thank you. It was
You're
nice
welcome.
meeting you too.
thank you. Good enough. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Thank you. Harvey?
Okay, Doug, good news. The plaintiff found the dog and gave it to the defendant. Look at this, everybody. Isn't that sweet? Look at that, everybody. Aww. Okay, happy ending. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, John Josko. He says he was hired to do marketing work for the defendant at his cookie company, and the man's refusing to pay him. He brought in a large cookie order for the defendant. He's owed $2,000 and is suing for just that today. This is the defendant, Daniel Walsh. He says he sells hand-decorated cookies, which are sold in gift packages. And yes, the plaintiff did work for him for about 60 days and was then terminated. Unfortunately, the plaintiff was very upset he was let go and is just grasping at straws, trying to sue him for $2,000 today. He's accused of letting the cookie crumble.
All parties, please use your radio.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff was hired to do marketing for the defendant's cookie company and got stiffed. But the defendant says he fired the plaintiff. It's the case of the Cookie Monster.
Thank you, Douglas. John Josko,
Yes, ma'am.
you are suing the Frosted Baker, represented by none other than the Frosted Baker, represented by Daniel Walsh. You're the owner, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, for $2,000, your salary in July and salary in August that you believe you're entitled to, and he does not believe you're entitled to. Tell me what's going on.
Okay, so we entered into an agreement, a broker-client a relationship on February 1st. I was to represent his product in certain markets that we decided. We made a list of certain customers that we were going to go after. In return, I would get a weekly stipend for my administrative services and time.
So you would get a percentage if you got a deal, but also you would get a base salary?
Correct.
All right, and the base salary was how much?
$250 a week.
Do you have anything in writing with him?
I do.
May I see it?
We have a contract.
And what is it you, what do you do? What do you bake?
The Frosted Baker makes the finest, most highly decorated cookies in the world.
I don't see a box of cookies.
No samples for the judge?
Are you hiding the cookies?
Your Honor, I will send them after the decision.
No. Don't do that. Don't do that, please.
Could have been construed as something like a bribe.
Something like a bribe. All right, so he's not going to send me cookies. Don't worry. And if he does, I won't eat them.
Listen, they're good cookies. That's too bad.
Did you bring me cookies?
I did not.
Okay, well.
I don't have access to them anymore.
Okay.
Yes, you do. You go to the
how
website.
does it? Wait. How does this work? You wholesale them?
Correct. We manufacture for large companies like QVC, we were on a couple of times, Williams-Sonoma, those types of companies, tier 1 retailers. And basically what we do is we take their needs and we use our initiative and our decorators, which are the best, and we design their cookies and we actually produce them. They're all handmade, hand decorated, and we can do that in the tens of thousands and keep the quality the same. So we're basically right now known as kind of the industry standard in that segment, and we're pretty highly recognized, pretty highly regarded.
Okay. Now, this says the agreement shall be for a term of 6 months from the date hereof, will renew automatically, but either party can terminate this agreement during the year with 30 days written notice. So what happens?
What happened was we brought John to Gurney, showed him the facility, introduced him to the team, explained in depth what the pricing was. And so what happened was John came on board. We just didn't get a feel that what we were investing in him was really going to produce anything. Because if you consider that the $1,000 a month and a 5% commission rate is really worth about $20,000 in sales. And we just really didn't, the team kind of
But
felt
you
like...
mean you changed your minds?
No, ma'am.
Or what did he do during how long was he actually working for you before you gave the 30-day?
On March 14th, I sent him an email outlining what my concerns were, and I said, at this point in time, we are going to trigger the 30-day
So he'd
clause.
had the 1 month, February. And
Correct.
what happened in February?
What happened in March? He got
Right, I know, but what did he do in February? What did he produce?
Not sure. Nothing in the way of
Did you
sales.
produce anything in February?
I was just started seeing appointments.
Okay, so on March you say we're exercising the 30-day. March what?
March 14th.
14th. All right, and
There's
then
an email.
what happens? In March you produce something.
Right. He made a stipulation that if I was to bring an order in, we would revisit the stipend. So I still continued to work. This should have went through April 14th. If nothing happened, then we could have both went our separate ways. Subsequently, I did bring in an order for him. They made me custom product. We got a commitment for a big order, and we continued business as usual
Okay,
after
so
that.
hold on. So how big was the order?
It was about $36,000.
Okay.
I have the purchase orders
And
here.
that happens on what day?
We got the commitment in between March 14th and April 14th. We got the purchase order toward the end of April.
So did the two of you discuss continuing business, or did he just continue to pay you?
He continued to pay me. We just
Okay.
continued to do business
Just
as usual.
everybody pretended the conversation didn't happen.
Exactly.
It's very unhealthy, because that's how, we have a name for you people, we call you litigants. Okay. All right, so you continue to get paid, and that part is true, right? He continues to get paid.
Well, what happened was there was a conversation, and in business you have to make a decision. Some of it's financial, some of it's qualitative. The decision to terminate the stipend, which is clear, there's no ambiguity about whether I notified him pursuant to his constructed agreement that he was given notice, and on April 15th, that part was done. He did say that he
Well,
had...
but hold on. See, you're saying there's no ambiguity. There is no ambiguity in the language. There is ambiguity in the interpretation.
Correct.
Did you or did you not continue to pay him after that and pretend business was as usual?
Well, I said to him, since you said you have this commitment, which doesn't mean a lot until you get the purchase order, what I'll do is as an act of good faith, again, making less a financial decision, more a qualitative decision, because as John said, we went out of our way to make this kind of a dumbed-down kind of bulk-type cookie, which is not something that we did. So I figured it was probably prudent to see if he could actually pull this off, to stick with it and keep that motivation going. And at some point in time, if I decided that this just simply wasn't working, at least my financial decision, which was to end the stipend, was obliged to. And so, yes, ma'am, I did
That is how,
continue to pay.
I understand what you were saying,
Okay.
and I see how you look at it that way. Let me tell you the way he looks at it. He looks at it as, I got fired, but I got rehired, so I'm still under the same contract. What ended up happening with that $36,000? Did they end up paying it?
Yes, it was
okay.
about, I believe it was in late June that we actually fulfilled the order.
Okay.
And they did pay about 30 days later, which is typical, was a net 30
Yeah.
deal.
All right,
And then
so-
John was paid his commission out of that. And
Okay, so what happens, what do you produce in April, May, June?
We didn't produce anything from
Okay.
from that point.
All right, and
However,
so when is it that you learned that they are not interested in continuing to pay you $250 in expenses?
it was probably toward the end of July. I hadn't heard from Mr. Walsh. I did send him a communication that, because they just stopped paying me. They would send me checks.
When did they stop paying you?
June 30th was the last check.
And then you want to get paid now for July and August.
Correct. After I didn't get the July 15th check, I had reached out to him and I said, are we done here? And he said, yeah. He said, because I already resigned you back in March. But I said, but I'm still working for you. I'm setting. I had holiday commitments set up with this same particular type of cookie that they developed for me that I was just getting together for the holidays. Probably around $100,000 in additional sales.
Okay, favorite type of cookie?
Chocolate chip.
Favorite type of cookie?
Snickerdoodle.
Snickerdoodle.
Really? Snickerdoodle?
Chocolate chip.
Snickerdoodle. Oatmeal cookie.
Huh?
Oatmeal.
Oatmeal?
Yeah.
Oh, God. We were on such a roll here, oatmeal, going inside the courtroom.
He said, you missed your deadline. He said, we're not doing because they're seasonal cookies. They're for Halloween, Christmas. He said, you've missed your deadline on the Halloween cookies. And this is, mid-July.
Okay, can I see any emails from June 30th to July 15th? Okay, so on July 10th, you're answering questions that he's asking about the, he's asking you for individual photos with the item numbers of the cookies, all around. This is on July 10th, and you answer him, John, bulk pallets are 60K, like you're conducting business with him July
Correct.
10th. Then on July 12th, you give him an extensive list of the item numbers for the orange turkey, the brown leaf, the red leaf. There's nothing in there about you missed your deadline.
Was that email from me or was it from Shane?
Shane. Who's Shane?
Shane is my production manager.
Well, apparently, who better than Shane to figure out how much time Shane needs to produce? This is on August 2nd, is an email from Shane. August 2nd. Hi, John. I know you said you needed bulk samples sent to Albertsons. What is the address you need them sent to?
I had meetings set up for the whole month of August to present these cookies, which I had to cancel.
Oh, wow. I find based on the emails that you were still doing business in July and August, and I'm going to order them to pay you the $2,000 that you're asking for.
Thank you.
Good luck, folks.
Thank
you
you.
lost, so I'm not going to get cookies,
Sure aren't.
Darn it. I don't need cookies,
Well, the plaintiff prevails. He gets the $2,000. Dan Walsh has just come out. I gather you disagree with the judge's decision.
Yes, I do disagree with the judge's decision.
Why?
Well, because if he presents me with a contract, I abide by the contract, I exercise the stipulations in the contract, then I expect we all stand by those.
Well, the judge says you were still doing business with him in August. Your production manager was communicating with him, so
Well,
that carried weight.
We had
obviously.
one purchase order, and the entire time we had the relationship with the gentleman, and that was it.
Well,
that's not business in July and
Okay,
August.
all righty. How many people does it take to make 100,000 cookies, handmade?
Anywhere between 35 and 50, and they are the best in the business.
Well, we'll look for him, okay?
All right.
Thank you very much. Okay. Here comes Mr. Joshko. I presume you're happy. His cookies are good, though.
They're
all
very
right?
good. They're very good. It's a very good company. It's a shame it had to come to this, or it really is.
Okay, well, you made the right decision. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks.
Okay, take care. Harvey?
Okay, Doug, little tip here. Most states have labor commissions. It's a state agency. And if you don't get paid for work you do, you can file a complaint with the labor commission. And they can actually mediate this stuff. And if the employer doesn't pay within a certain period of time, they can actually attach penalties to that. So it's another way of doing it without going to court, and it could actually be more effective. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, LaQuasia Gant. She says the defendant, her boyfriend of 2 years, owes her money for rent he's not paying her. And she's had it with his lies. He also stole money from a bank account. And the buck stops here and now in this courtroom because she's suing the scoundrel for all of the $4,452.56 she's owed. This is the defendant, Anthony Scott. He says he never lived with the plaintiff and she has no right suing him today. He thinks the plaintiff's suing him because she's mad their relationship went bad, and he simply doesn't have the time for her anymore. Owe her all his money? No way. He's accused of doing a lover wrong.
All parties, please use your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff says her boyfriend owes her money and stole it from her bank account to boot, but the defendant says she's just a jilted lover. It's the case of Cash Me Outside.
Thank you, Douglas. LaQuasia again?
Yes.
Okay, you're suing Anthony Scott, your former boyfriend, for $4,452.56 that you say he owes you in rent, money he stole from you, and bank overdraft charges. What happened?
I met the defendant like 2 years ago, and we started dating in August. So we got into a relationship. After that, he had some issues with his apartment. He said that the sewage came up, so he was looking for an apartment in Jersey. He couldn't find one. I explained to him, okay, well, since you can't find one, you can come here, but you have to help me pay the rent half and half. He agreed. He came to live in January.
Of what year?
Of 2016.
Okay.
He was paying the rent. And then in October, well, September he was late. He paid September and October. And October he just didn't pay rent. October, November, December.
Wait, he paid the month of September, he paid it in October, and then,
Yes.
according to you, he owes October, November, December, January, and February.
Yes, ma'am.
What happened in February?
February, he wasn't paying rent. The rent wasn't getting paid. But he told me, he was like, okay, I'm going to give you $1,000 this week, and in 2 weeks, I'll give you another 1,000, and then I'll pick up the rest. I said, okay. But me and the landlord, he told me, he was like, we're not going to sign another lease. I said, that's fine. You will have to move out. I was like, well, can I move out in March so this can stop? He told me yes. I said, I won't be penalized. The landlord said yes. I explained this to the defendant. I said, listen, the landlord said we have to be out by March 1st. He said, okay, no problem. He was going
Actually, I've read the text. He didn't say, okay, no problem. What he said was, where are we going to go, Quay?
Yeah, he's
Right.
well, but eventually he said,
Yeah.
okay, no problem, because
Right.
he left and he went somewhere else.
So, did he pay you that 1,000?
No.
Did he pay you that other 1,000?
No.
Right. So he lived there rent-free then how long?
5 months.
All right. Now, according to you, he also stole money from a safe?
Okay, we had a safe in the apartment. The plan was to put money for the move. So I gave out $1,000 to put in the safe.
Why would you give him any money when he owes all that money?
No, this was before he owed the money.
Right, but no, how could it be? Because you didn't know you were moving in September.
No, we knew we was going to move into our own place. So I had a roommate at
So
that time.
when did you put the $1,000 in the safe?
I put it in, I think it was April.
And how
we
did
was
that
going to
moving
move
money not
together.
then become rent money so you wouldn't get evicted? Why didn't you just...
I asked him, I was like, well, give me the $1,000 that's in the safe, and I'm going to pay it. You know what he told me? He said the warrant squad was going to come after him, so he needed to pay the $1,000 to them. I'm like, no.
Wait, the warrant squad?
The warrant squad, because
For what? He had a warrant out for his arrest?
No, he owed tax money. I said, that's not how taxes go. They just garnish your tax check.
And then what happened? So he took the money to pay his taxes?
That's what he told me.
All right. And who put money into that safe? Had that, like, who was putting the money into the safe? Both of you?
The only money that was ever in the safe was the $1,000 I put in there. He already used it.
All right. Now, what is this $827 in bank overdraft fees? How could bank overdraft fees reach almost $1,000? Who's
Yes.
minding the store here?
We have a TD bank. I have a TD bank account. He was using my TD bank account.
Meaning what do you mean by using it? He could write checks?
He was writing checks.
Oh, you put him on your checking account?
No. I was the only one authorized to be used.
So
this
how
account.
was he using it?
Everything was in my name.
So would you give him an ATM card? What'd you do?
He had my ATM card.
Okay, because you gave it to him.
Right.
You didn't steal it.
No.
Oh, okay. So then you give him your ATM card, and he overdrafts how? By taking too much money out of the ATM?
He took money out of the ATM. He set up payments that he never paid. He had his school loan, his QVC account.
Okay, but I have a question for you. How does it get to $827? That's over the course of how long?
In that 2 weeks.
I need to see the bank records, please.
No
What
problem.
the heck is going on?
Nah, what happened was that I wrote every 2 weeks I got payments arrangement, right? So pretty much I lost my job. They gave me my last check in a paper form.
Yeah, because you told them to. But you'd taken money out of the
Yeah.
account. So you left her with an $800 deficit, $827 deficit. So you acknowledge you owe that.
Yeah, I know that.
Let's talk about the money that she says she put in a safe so that you two would have moving money and that you then use for your own personal use. Is that accurate?
It's not accurate.
Okay, tell me your side of that.
So how long do you date somebody before you start commingling funds?
I think it's all about trust.
Well, no, I want to know how much time do you have to wait?
As long as it takes to sign the prenup.
Okay, but suppose they're not getting married. I mean, give me a time. A year, 6 months, what?
At least 1.5 years.
A year and a half. Okay, 18 months.
Probably 2 years.
Yeah, I think she's smarter than a year and a half. I really do. Going inside the courtroom.
She gave me the money. I put it in the safe, whatever. I did use it to clear off some debt, and I was going to
Did you tell her that you,
Yeah,
not after
that's
the
what I'm
fact,
saying.
did you ask her for the money to be able, did you say, can I use that money to pay off my debt?
We play with bread all day. Like,
Say it again.
We play with money all day, so the $1,000 is nothing between us.
That wasn't my question.
Yeah.
I didn't ask how much cash you roll with. That's the answer to how much cash do you roll with. My question to you was, before you took her cash, all right, that was in that, because she says that was her cash. Is that
Yeah.
true? Okay. Before you took it to use it for yourself, did you ask her?
Yeah, she knows. This is like way in the beginning of the year.
Okay. So she's just wanting that money back
Yeah,
now
she-
because you guys broke up.
Pretty much. And she think I'm a, like, rob or something like that. And I'm like,
What about the rent money?
I always pay my bills, miss. Always.
Okay,
And the
first
rent-
of
and
all-
the rent, and, I mean, it's a bad habit.
Wait, yeah. Yeah, it is a bad habit. And if I was a male judge, would you say buddy?
Nah.
Okay.
I apologize.
So it's judge, not miss. But let me ask you a question. I always pay my bills. You want a cookie? Because that's what you're supposed to do. My question is, did you pay that bill? Were you supposed to be paying rent? And did you pay it?
Up to what? November?
Did you pay October and November?
To my knowledge, I paid up to October.
Do you have proof that you paid October? Because she just.
I just give her cash, like here. I just give her cash and walk away. She handles all
Okay,
the
but then
bills
why
and
did you
everything.
stop giving money for rent? October, November, December, January, February, 5 months you weren't paying any rent.
Because truthfully, we wasn't paying the rent.
She was paying her part of the rent.
She paid her part of the rent after January.
Let me see your.
She can give you the rent, Missy. I know it's after January.
Well, either way, I mean, she's still
And
paying
on
it
top
more
of
than you
that-
are.
On top of that, her rent situation is really
Why were you
between
guys
her-
not paying the rent October, November, December?
Why?
Yeah, why?
But we was too busy going out.
Who was?
We was.
Where were you going?
We used to go all over the place.
Like what?
They're not.
Are you trying to be a jerk?
No,
Like
I'm
you're
not
trying
trying to be
hard,
a
or does it come naturally? Why didn't you guys pay the rent?
All of this wasn't a problem until we broke up a couple of months ago. Then she found out that the overdraft fee happened like a couple of months ago.
Okay, but so why didn't you pay back what you overdrafted, and why didn't
That's
you?
the thing. That's the thing. I showed her that I had her money cash. I showed it to her.
What good does that do? Why don't you give it to her, not show it to her?
I was asking her to meet me downtown Brooklyn.
Because you guys were broken up
we
already?
was broken up, and it's like I was trying to say what little we have. Like, you know, trying to get her attention because she completely cut me off.
So the reason, right, she cut you off because she thinks you're a loser who doesn't pay his bills. And so you were holding her hostage, because I read the text. You wanted her to meet you, and you would only give her the money if she met you. And if she didn't meet you, you weren't going to hand her the money. How much money was it that you were going to hand her?
What, cash? 18.
And why 18? To cover
Her
what?
bank fees and the $1,000 she that I took from her, which I
thought you said you didn't know her that.
which I acknowledged.
Right, so you do acknowledge $1,000, all right. And then, so what is your defense on the rent?
I showed her that I had her money. Just meet me downtown Brooklyn. You're mad at me, you're mad at me. All I ask you is just talk to me. All this could be an iron out without going through the courts.
Ironed out how? I see in your text how you're telling her, I love you, you can't just dump me like this. What, that's it, we're never going to talk
I love
again?
this woman like crazy.
Why did you dump him?
It was going nowhere. It felt like it was take, and I was just giving, and I guess I finally woke up like I don't have to give no more.
But
and then it just
some
went
things
down the
happened,
roof.
and I couldn't
Okay,
contact you to reach
please
you
stop,
to
because
tell
I'm
you
not a
what's
marriage
going on.
counselor. I truly don't care. I'm trying to discern a defense, and I hear none. I'm ruling in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $4,452.56.
Well, the defendant has come out of the courtroom. Mr. Scott, you owe her all this money. What do you have to say for this?
Oh, this month we're not together no more. That's all.
Yeah, you're not together, but
And I
she's
was-
stuck with all those bills.
She wasn't stuck with it because along the way I was giving her bread at the side, and she already know. I'm not gonna keep going through all of this. She got what she got. She got her come up, and that's it.
All right. So it's all over between the two of you? You still
Well,
friends or not?
I mean, she can holler at me when she wants to, if she wants to. But my communication, my door's always open.
All right. Well, she sued you and she won, so you're going to have to live with that, okay?
That's life.
That is life, indeed. All right, Ms. Gann, if you'll step out here. Let me just ask you, are you still friends with him after having gone through this in court with him?
No.
No?
No.
It's all over? Okay. Congratulations.
Thank
you
you.
very much. Harvey?
Okay, we have talked about this, Doug, before, but I want to try it a slightly different way. Do not confuse giving money to somebody for love, because the two do not even intersect. They don't even intersect a little bit.